What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here. I'm back with another video, and as you can see by the title, I'm going to be talking about star players who could get traded this season. And I know everybody doesn't like the trade videos all the time, but at the same time, this is something that interested me because it's not just trades in general, it's the star players who you think could get traded. Now, I seen this question pop up on the Hockey News in a magazine. I believe it was Hockey News. I can't remember which one it was, but if I'm wrong, maybe I'll put something else in the video there. But I'm pretty sure that that's where I got it from. And it was a question where I was like, should I really talk about this? And I'm like, you know what? I think the people would like to see something like that. It's just another discussion, and that's what we do here. My opinion isn't always going to be 100% correct because nobody is perfect, and I just want to talk to you guys, and I want to see what you guys think. So before you even watch this, you could pause this right now and say, what star player could get traded, and type up a comment and say why and see if you're correct. That would be pretty cool if you want to do that, but we're going to talk about it. I have my paper right in front of me, so if you see that I'm looking down, it's because I'm referencing to the paper so I don't forget anything. And we're just going to have a discussion. That's what we do on this channel. If you're new, please subscribe. I'd love to have more hockey conversation with you. Lots of stuff coming up. So we're going to talk about star players who we think could get traded this season. And you know what? Like I said, I'd love to hear what you guys think. But these were the names that popped up the most on this magazine, okay? Tavares, James Van Riemsdyk, Matt Duchene twice, Joe Thornton, and Evander Kane. So we're going to go through every name here. So I'm going to start with Evander Kane. I can't see this happening because I think Buffalo is trying to hold on to Evander Kane, because why move a guy who's going to be a part of a rebuild that could take the next step this year? And I know a lot of Buffalo Sabres fans, sometimes we don't get along, but Evander Kane has, gotten himself in some trouble. And I still think he's a very talented hockey player. And if Buffalo wants to take the next step, why would they want to trade Evander Kane? You're going to want to have guys who can score, secondary scoring. You can't just have Jack Eichel doing everything. You got Nylander, who I'm not sure if he's going to make the team. I know he's been hurt. But, you're starting to put together some pieces here in Buffalo, and they're looking a bit better. So why get rid of a guy that's going to help you win now if you're trying to win now? Unless they get back one or two pieces that can help them now, I can't see that happening. So I would scratch him off of there. The next guy I'll talk about is Joe Thornton. Now, we all know that in free agency this year, there was a lot of teams knocking on the door of Joe Thornton. And one of those teams was the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, again, a lot of people don't like when Leaf fans make trade videos for some reason, but I don't know why. I've watched a lot of them, and I've seen the comments, but I'm just making a discussion here. But Joe Thornton was a guy that the Leafs looked at, and apparently Chris Johnston, he works for Sportsnet, one of the best guys in all of sports. He said that the Leafs were very interested in getting Thornton and Marleau at the same time, which would have almost guaranteed a lot of trades, domino effect starting to fall after that, because the Leafs would have had to move some cap. So Thornton is a guy that could get moved at the deadline, and I'm not sure if he would want to, but at the same time, if he's being told, hey, maybe you can go back to Toronto and play with Patty Marleau, or hey, Pittsburgh or Chicago, somehow they'll figure out to get the cap, under the cap, because they always do. Hey, they're looking for a new player. Why don't you, if you want to get traded, we'll send you to a cup contender. You never know what could happen. And Joe Thornton only signed a one-year deal, $8 million. It's a lot of money, but I mean, if San Jose wanted to get a lot back in the deal, they could eat some salary. There's a lot of possibilities that could happen, and Joe Thornton could very well get traded, but I feel like it could be at the deadline. I wrote on here maybe because I could see it happening, and then I could see him going, hey, I'm going to try to stick it out in San Jose. After this year, I might sign another contract for 2 or 3 years and then call it a career. You never know. But I would think San Jose might get a little worried, because I think next year Toronto may actually go after Joe again, and a lot of teams will circle back around and go back after Joe Thornton as well. The next guy I'm going to talk about here is Matt Duchene. Now, he's a guy that's been in the trade talks forever now. Matt Duchene is on this list twice, and obviously people probably think he's going to get dealt. Now, Colorado's made it clear that they are trying to move him, because I think both sides would agree that it's time. And like I said, when you're watching this, he could already be dealt, but if he's not, it's going to happen this season. And I don't think this is going to be a move that takes until the deadline. I think it's actually going to happen before the deadline. And if it does, it's going to be a less of a deal as Colorado wants to see. And the reason I'm saying that, and you could watch my other Duchene videos I've made, but I think that his value has gone down a little bit because Colorado has turned down some pretty hefty offers, and teams are probably starting to be like, okay, listen, we're not paying that price. We could get something better and, for way less maybe, because they were asking for everything, and I don't blame them. Matt Duchene is a very talented player. I almost just want him to stay in Colorado, but at this point, I don't think there's any turning back. He's in good shape now. He's going to get dealt. And when it happens, I won't be surprised, and I don't think anybody else will be. It's just going to depend where he goes. I know Columbus and Nashville have been pretty adamant, and I know Montreal and Ottawa have also been in there too. So we'll have to see what happens there. The next guy I'm going to talk about is James Van Riemsdyk. And for me as a Leaf fan, I got to say, this isn't happening. Look at the sacrifices the Leafs have made to some of their young talent that should be ready for the NHL already. Leipzig got sent out in the expansion draft. Kapanen is going to be put in the minors. Levo is going to be put in the minors. Soshnikov is going to be put in the minors. They are saying, listen, we're going for it. Maybe not. Obviously, you're going for a Stanley Cup. But I think realistically, the Leafs are like, we want to make a good playoff run. And JVR has to be a part of it. There's a lot of young talent that could make this squad right now. And if the Leafs really felt like they needed to bring them up, they would have traded JVR by now. I think JVR is a guy that the Leafs really believe in. Do I think he's going to stay with this team after next year? Possibly. But he's going to go to the free agent market and get a ton of money. But I know James Van Riemsdyk is a guy that loves Toronto. Would it surprise me if he stayed? Probably not. But I think Van Riemsdyk is not going to be traded. First of all, right off the bat, at the beginning of the season, could you see him getting traded? No, because the Leafs are contending. Same thing at the deadline, same thing in the offseason, because he's going to be a free agent. So I can't really see it happening. The Leafs want to go for it. Unless something terrible happens and the Leafs suck, then maybe Van Riemsdyk gets traded and the Leafs try to, fill his spot and stockpile something else. But I can't see that happening, to be honest with you. The Leafs have crazy scoring depth, and Van Riemsdyk is definitely a part of it. There hasn't been any signs of him being traded. All the rumors have come and gone. I know that they were going to move him in the Hamonic deal, I believe it was, but that never fell through. I believe it was like a first and JVR and for Hamonic or whatnot. But it didn't happen, and I'm kind of glad it didn't. I kind of like what the Leafs are doing now. And, yeah, I just can't see him as a guy getting traded, to be honest with you. Now, the last guy on this list is John Tavares. Now, I can't see it because it looks like the Islanders are trying to let, Tavares, see his surroundings and see the guys that are playing around him and say, hey, we might get a new arena here too. Like, we're trying to help you and help the team out by keeping you here and getting guys to play with you. Now, we all know the Islanders have screwed up before. P.A. Parenteau, he could play with Tavares. There's a lot of people that thought he should have stayed there. But the Islanders need to do something bigger than just Eberle. Now, he's going to be good for them, but I think they got to add more. They got rid of one of their top defenders, and then they got a good forward, but they haven't really addressed all their needs. Now, if the New York Islanders are just tanking it by the deadline and John Tavares says, listen, I just want to go somewhere and contend right now, and then I'm probably going to test the waters in free agency, or hell, maybe I'll come back to New York if you guys can bring some guys to play with me, but for now, I need to go and play somewhere else. Then that could make sense. But other than that, I don't see it happening. The Islanders are going to want to try to compete right now. I don't think they have a good enough starting goaltender in Greiss. I don't think that their defensive core is any better after trading Hamonic, and I don't think that their forward group is that great now that they just got Eberle. And I know Barzal looks great, but they really need to step it up. Hosang's going to have to step it up. This is all going to rely on how they start out. If they're a good team by the deadline, then I can see Tavares going, hey, maybe we should rediscuss this contract. I like what we're doing here, but you're going to have to bring some other guys in too to help us next season. So, personally, I mean, if Tavares went on the free agent market, it would be cool to see how that went. But if he stays with the New York Islanders, then I wouldn't be upset either. So those are just some of the guys I wanted to discuss. So like I said, I seen an article and I like having discussion videos with you guys. I want to know what you guys think, so please leave a comment down below. Like I said, I want to know what you guys think. Lots more videos coming, live streams, everything is coming up. Lots of videos. I keep telling you guys because they are coming. I'm going to produce videos for you guys. I want to make sure you guys get the best content possible. So let me know what you guys think. Please subscribe if you're new. I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. Go support other YouTubers. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.